Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you are tuning in. Thank you for watching another episode of A Load of Clark and Ball, episode 3 coming up. Looking ahead to the 3 semi-finals of the £10,000 Coral Golden Sprint at Romford. I'm Clark, Dave Clark. He's the Ball, Tony Bullen, and we're delighted to be joined by top trainer Cole Perry, who of course is represented by Geelo Gold Dust, one of the leading fancies for the Golden Sprint. How are you, Cole?
I'm good, thanks, Dave.
Tony, tremendous action last week, 6 sensational heats. We saw some fireworks, and they've served up 3 appetising semi-finals as well.
Yeah, Golden Sprint's always a hotly contested event, Dave, and Geelo Gold Dust certainly advertised her claims. She started off in D2. She finished 5th on her debut in March for Cole, and then the lockdown came. But when she returned in June, she won 3 from 5 in D2s at Sheffield, and I think Cole realised he had a nice bitch on his hands.
Yeah, certainly has. How is she, Cole? She was brilliant on Friday night in winning her heat. Has she come out of the race okay?
Absolutely perfect. Yeah, she come out well. She had a check over yesterday by a physio, developer, give it all clear, 100% spot on. Gallop on Tuesday, gallop well, and she's in great order, all ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the story then of Geelo Gold Dust. She's not one that you guys bred yourself. I know you're always keen to try and breed a champion or two. This one's been sourced over in Ireland from a good friend, you was telling me.
Yeah, Shane Gorman, he bred her, he's out of his own bitch, and she was another purchase from the awards night as a yearly event. It's a regular thing now. Shane and his wife joined us for the awards for the weekend, and it usually results in us buying a dog or two as the night goes on. And
after alcohol is consumed, is that?
Always. Yeah. The deal starts in the afternoon, and it's always completed about 2 o'clock in the morning before we go to bed, and usually new arrivals by the next week, or 1 or 2 at least.
I see you took her to Toaster for a maiden sprint event where she beat Mr. Rue Cole, and then you took her to Romford. She had a period at Romford in October, November. I think she won 4 from 6. Was beaten a short head in the other 2. But the only thing that I noticed, she was 24:10 personal best. Was you a little bit miffed that she didn't go any quicker?
Yeah, that's it, Tony. She, I kept telling myself every week she'd get better, she'll track better, she'll get used to the place. That 23:80, 23:70 smash run was coming, and it never did. And then I convinced myself that, well, she must not be having the traps. She's not breaking like I know she can. I mean, she's come under the bars at times at Sheffield, doing fast sprint runs. But she never showed that at Romford. So I was a bit miffed with it. Yeah, you're right. And it was hard to put your finger on because the bitch was right and everything was right, but the times wasn't matching the performances. But luckily, we took her away. Then we went and, we had to go to the national sprint. And we took her back for Romford. I wasn't 100% going to go back to Romford for the Golden Sprint because I didn't think she'd done the clocks. But luckily, it all fell into place, and we entered the trial stakes. And she did find that smash break and that 23:80 run, and proved that she can put them clocks on the board. But yeah, it was a bit concerning at the time. It were baffling more than out, and it was just trying to put your finger on it.
Yeah, I noticed when you took her to Nottingham, she won the heat and semi of the national sprint, ended up finishing 3rd in the final. But the 2 races that she had in January, you took her back to Nottingham, she was around 26.5 kilos. I see you trimmed a little bit of weight off her heading into the Golden Sprint. Do you think that's been the key to her posting these fast times now?
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, after Nottingham, because she had a little break, and she do a bit with it, with the cold weather and everything, she were a bit heavier, carrying a bit of condition. So yeah, I think the enforced break after Toaster, slight shoulder issue after a trial, just weren't happy with, and we give us 3 weeks to work on that, and during the 3 weeks we dropped her weight a bit, got a sprint into it, Sheffield, where she went well, and then went back to Romford, fresh for the trial stakes, weight's back up, she's bang on now, she's in great order at home. You can see the difference in her, post round national sprint time. She was struggling with the weather, the cold. She's not that, she's only 25.5 kilo. Brave as a lion on the track, but not the bravest in a kennel, in the weather and in the conditions. And we had a couple of cold nights there at Nottingham. And she's a lot better, but she's back to her, good old self. And, we can't have her no better than she is, to be fair.
Oh, well, we'll forgive her that, Cole, because, I mean, no one likes the cold weather. will probably carry a little bit of extra conditioning, if you want to call it that, over the festive period. But you've done a fine job getting her back, and the trial stake run was absolutely sensational because, as you say, she did come away. Then she showed her pace and class, but her efforts at Romford prior to that, she showed a great attitude, a real willingness to win. She'd been headed, as well as races in which she was able to dominate, but she still come back for more. And to do that at Romford, it's a tough place to do that. She's really taken to it, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has. She's definitely become a Romford specialist, and she's done it. Like I said, both ways. There's a few times here she's had to battle and had to fight and dig deep. And even in the 2 defeats where she was beat, I mean, she was desperately unlucky. To lose them two. I think both her defeats were by short head. She's definitely, took into the place, and we've seen the best of her. I think 400 would be an ideal trip. She stays it well enough, but she won't be getting no 480s, I don't think. She's just become a Romford specialist, and if you've got a Romford specialist, then it makes the journey a lot easier on a Friday, back and forth, when you're going with a bitch or a dog that's got every chance.
I see she's won out of traps 2, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, she's never raced out of 1 and 6, so no doubt she would have probably won out of those boxes. But what do you think is her perfect box, Carl?
100% trap 4, Tony, for me. That's most of her races I've seen smash in 4. It seems bizarre, that 5 and 4 makes that much difference, or 3 and 4. But for me, if you could put her in the final in trap 4, I'd take that now against anything, to be fair.
And it was a fantastic run in the first round, Dave. She certainly consolidated her position at the head of the anti-post market.
Yeah, we can have a little look at that. Now, she was absolutely brilliant from the boxes, Carl. She's shown her early. She's not had it her own way, though. She did need to show that willingness again, because Mr. Rue in trap 2's run a brilliant first and second bend, and he's up her inside down the back.
Yeah, that's what I said. For a 25.5 kilo bitch, Dave, she's very brave. Many bitches that get muscled out and back out of that second bend when you've got a dog like Mr. Rue on your inside bullying them away. But she's so determined and so tough. And I think the thing with her on for her 2 to 3 pace is phenomenal, and that's what's won her a lot of her races. But she's never intimidated by the big dogs. She can be the same at home when I gallop her. I can gallop her with a 37 kilo dog, and she'll bully them all with the gallop. She's might be small, but she's really tough.
Oh, well, let's move on then to the 3 semi-finals. She goes in the third of those. The first one is the 756. Now, I know you're a keen form student as well, Carl. You love your open racing, so I'm hoping you can chip in with a little bit of insight as well, particularly as you was on the ground at Romford on Friday night. Down the card, the 756, the first semi-final. Patrick Jansen's Bocco's John Joe in 1. Speak Out Ada for Gemma Evans in 2. Swift Cope, the Yarmouth trainer, Paul Burr in 3. He was very impressive coming from off the pace to win his heats. Last for the road, also for Paul from Yarmouth in trap 4. Mark Wallace's Aero Madrid in 5. And Bubbly Spark for local trainer Paul Young in trap 6. Now, the market is likely to revolve around trap 1 here, Tony, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, connections and supporters of Bocco's John Joe, I'll be absolutely delighted. He's got his draw bang on the rails. He's always looking for the rails instantly out of the boxes. But as much as he's going to take the beating, I've just got a couple of question marks of dogs cast in my own mind of late. He had no business, in my opinion, getting beat by Signature Callum after hitting the front. And the running that he done behind Sign Mafia in the first round justifies that for me, because he did a lot of running after turning in a unpromising position. I think he will take the beating in this particular heat. I mean, November to December, he was posting 23.60, 23.80 for fun. All 4 wins have been at Romford, but I don't know, I've just got a couple of question marks, but I think he will be the one to beat in that first semi-final, Dave.
Yeah, I think from what we saw last week, he didn't look like a short runner. That's what makes the run prior to that a little bit confusing. Now, there will be question marks over his attitude. You say, well, was he chasing after Sign Mafia? Or was he waiting around for Signature Callum? I'm still going to give him the benefit of the doubt here because he's a very, very fast dog. Patrick's a fantastic trainer. He's got a brilliant draw on the inside. This dog is desperate for one. If he's drawn anywhere else, he's diving left out the boxes. So I've got to be with him. I think he's going to be a short price. How did you see this one, Cole?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the one looks, the one to beat. He's by far the fastest, probably in the competition when he gets it right. not he's desperate for one, but I didn't think the draw was perfect with the two. The two looks to have got his best sectionals. I mean, it's a bitch going forward, speak out. And I thought he did a lot of running last week in a messy semi-final, a messy. And I thought it could be an hazard to him. You know, he's got to get loose. And if it were, I mean, he's an obvious choice, but if it wasn't clear the two, I think it'd put a big hazard to him. And I give the five a big shout. I think Aero Madrid dog's gone under the radar a little bit, and I think 14-1 odds anti-postal is ridiculous. I think it's his fine form is the dog. He's probably better in 6, but his run last week showed he was versatile and he come from just off the pace to win. I actually thought the win was better than, you know, on to the eye, watching it live. I thought he was a better run than the clock suggested. I thought he was very brave.
Yeah, you called it, Tony. You did call it, because I said, I think the loss of 6 is going to be a big problem for this dog, and you was like, no. Last week you said no, he'd be fine, and he didn't lead at the corner, but he certainly come away okay. He showed that pace, and Mark Wallace's trainer has got him absolutely spot on at the moment.
Yeah, I suppose if Carl's theory that it could turn out to be a little bit of a messy race, a scrimmaging around the first couple of bends, then Swift Coat will have to enter calculations. I mean, Paul Burr's dog's running out of his skin again, and he's proven over 5.75 metres. I think he run Droopy's Ether to a neck or a head over 5.75, and he's just been really coming home strongly, but will need the gaps to appear when he is mounting his challenge in the second half, Dave.
Absolutely. Right, let's move on then to the second semi-final. A dog I thought would run an absolute screamer to qualify from his seat was Jono You Go, in behind Swift Coat. He goes in trap 1 for Romford trainer Nathan Hunt. Final Moon is in trap 2 for Kim Billingham. Sprinter of the Year, shrewd call for Dave Mullins in 3. Silent Mafia for Kevin Hutton in 4. Adele's Duke for Lee Field in 5. And Moulton Manor for John Mullins in 6. We've got a few speedsters in here, Tony. There is a lot of speed on show, particularly down the centre.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Final Moon won the Hope Duel at Crayford, but shrewd call. I mean, he went from A6 to A1 at a rapid rate, February to June last year. Then Dave Mullins thought, well, I've got a nice sprinter on my hands. He dropped him in distance. Silver Salva on the Coral Sprint at Hove, beat Loggy's Leto in that Green King IPA sprint at Yarmouth, and he's just back to his very best last week. What I like with him, when he does come away running, I know dogs don't run in lanes, but this dog picks a racing line and stays there throughout. If he attacks the bend from a middle in the free path, he'll stay there all the way round. And I think he'll pass this test, because I just think that he can make the crown of the bend in front. And I do think that Jono You Go is a big runner, because if 3 wins the early battle, you'd expect Final Moon and maybe Silent Mafia to sort of be struggling. And Jono You Go did a lot of running. He was a little bit of a naughty boy after the line, but you don't get any red cards after the line. So I'd be free to make all with one maybe running on the second, Dave.
Yeah, Carl. There is no easy draw in the semi-final of competitions. No draw, in these big competitions end off. But I think it's safe to say that you might have dodged a little bit of a bullet here, because you could have been in this heat. You could have had Shrewd Call and Silent Mafia up the inside, and this one's going to be a spectacle, isn't it? No disrespect to the other 4 dogs. They're all very fast in their own right, but the market is certainly going to be revolving around the middle duo.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a fair comment. I think when you look at the lineups, you could. I would have, if we'd have been drawn with Shrewd Call and that, we would have been. But yeah, I would have sighed relief driving home from Romford last week when I saw the draw, and I thought, yeah, we've got probably the better of the 3 semi-finals. Having seen the heats, I was more worried what Moulton Manor were going in, because I've not seen a dog go. His pace last week was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. He went to, Geelo Brez's no back mark, but the way he got to him and went by him, I thought I wouldn't like Geelo Gold Dust on his inside. You roast at bend. And I think it could be the same with this race. I mean, Shrewd Call looks the obvious choice for me, but Moulton Manor will go to the bend, I think, with anything, what I've seen. And at least for the first 2 bends round Romford, make a case, for being up there and involved. He's really swinging line off the last bend. He's causing problems. But I think he could change the race a little bit if he does get to Shrewd Call. And I think trap 4, Signet Mafia was so brave last week at the bend.
Yeah.
I think the race could open up for him. I think he could be the one that could benefit if the 6 does come away and run up to Shoot Cole. And I just think he was a lot. He didn't get enough credit for what he did last week. I thought he got for a gap that weren't there at the first bend last week, and he can only go forward from me. Whenever with Kevin's, you have to expect improvement at this stage where he's going, and he's a very fast dog when he gets loose. And I just see the race makeup maybe just for the 4 over the 3.
Did you see that grin? He was grinning like a Cheshire cat there, Dave. I bet he wore that grin when he saw the draw last week, Carl. But as I say, it's still a tough semi-final that Geelo Gold Dust is in that third semi, Dave. So nothing's ever set in stone, particularly any given Friday night at Romford. But it is a real cracker, the third semi-final, Dave.
It is, yeah. I'm just on this semi-final. I mean, my head is telling me that Shrewd Call just leads here, but my heart is, as you know, Tony, probably number one cheerleader of Silent Mafia, and I think he's coming away at the moment, and 3 will need to be on his toes to hold 4 to the corner, and I think the market will suggest that 3 will be favourite. I think I expect weakness in the betting actually from Silent Mafia, because you think, well, even if 4 comes away, how can he clear 3? But I'm with Carl. I think Kevin's got this dog spot on. He's coming to hand nicely. He's maturing, and he's got blistering speed. And I've backed him anti-post, so let's get him into the final. Although we should try and beat impartial. Let's move on then to the third semi-final. Right down the card then, 8:38, third semi of the Coral Golden Sprint. Ballinaby Lucky in 1 for Sam West at Hove. Mr. Roo for Lee Field in 2. Adamant Taurus for Jane Crask at Yarmouth in 3. Bubbly Magnum in 4 for Paul Young. Geelo Gold Dust for some fella called Cole Perry. And Feather Breeze for Richard Joyce in trap 6. Well, we've already spoken in depth about Geelo Gold Dust. You told us, Cole, that you want her in 4. She's got 5. She's 1 out of 5. So, as we've already mentioned as well, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think she's capable of winning from 2 to 5 there. Worst case scenario, I think she'd be all right at 6. 4 would be the ideal box, but a strike rate's good enough out of 5. I mean, looking at the other dogs, she's drawn well in 5 in this heat. Do think there's a bogey in the race. I think Bubble Magnum's a lot better than we've seen her late. I do think he's a very fast dog when he gets his right. His puppy cup form at Romford when he first come on the scene. He looked like a serious dog. Still think he will be a serious dog. You don't do 28 or 5 round one more in trials and 23.70 odds on Romford in debuts and not be a serious dog. But I do think she's drawn very well. In the line with the lineups of the 3. I think she's got a perfect draw. The 6 is a very fast dog when he gets it right. Feather Breeze. He's done his beaters at Nottingham from 4, but I still don't think our bitch was right at Nottingham in them 2 runs after Christmas. He'd have to find a bit on his sectionals. If he were to get loose, it'd be a big danger to us. But I still look at the race and can't see us not going round in the first 2, if not in front. And if she's in front, it'll take a good one to back run her.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be people watching this almost hanging on your every word, Carl. I mean, she's no bigger than 4 to 1 anti-post. And from what you're saying, she's in good nick, and you wouldn't put anyone off backing her to win a semi-final and go on to win the competition. No,
definitely not. I mean, the record at Romford speaks for herself. She's not been out the first 2. This will probably be the biggest test, and then obviously next week, if she gets to the final, will be a lot bigger test. But I can't see her lining up in any fight. If any final race round Romford had been 4 to 1. So if you haven't already backed her, she's still probably a bit of value at 4 to 1. We thought the same last week. She was 8s and 10s, and we thought we'd get a run for his money at that sort of price, because she'd be very hard to keep out the first. Well, last week was the first 3, and this week the first 2. And I have to say it as it is. I'd be very disappointed if she can't be in the first 2 tomorrow and line up in the final next week.
So you've had it on then? You and Nick have had it on anti-post, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, we've had it on anti-post, and we've been a bit greedy there. We've had a double as well. We was running at Cheltenham on the same day, so we've gone all in.
Right, we'll come to that after we've spoken about the Golden Sprint, maybe a potential winner at Cheltenham. Third semi-final, Tony, market is going to revolve around Geelo Gold Dust. How do you see it?
I'm with Cole Perry's Geelo Gold Dust. She's a small bitch with a huge heart. She showed that she's a clever tracker. I mentioned about the racing line that Shrewd Call takes. Well, I think Geelo Gold Dust, I think she'd cope with any track draw, even in 1 or 6 if she ever had to overcome that hazard. But she's just a gutsy sort. The fact that Carl felt that she wasn't quite firing at Nottingham, she still runs a solid race. She's not a bitch that gets beaten far, but she's clearly firing on all cylinders. I put Adamant Taurus up at the start as a bit of value. I think he showed his little bit of a monkey side when winning his heat last time out, but them types of dogs, times are irrelevant. Sometimes the faster you put them in with, the better they go. And I think he was runner-up in that Guys and Doles at Romford last year, but he's going to have to track very clever. Bubbly Magnum, as Cole says, awesome debut in the Puppy Cup. He's come on for them 2 races that he had in the Winter Derby at Monmore, but he needs to really look lively at the boxes. He can't afford a 380-odd split because I think Geelo Gold Dust will be away and gone.
Is he a dog that we're going to see the best of him over further than 400? Tony, that's my feeling about him.
Yeah, I think when the summer going comes, like when we get these tracks that are running 20, 30 fast, I don't like to see tracks running 60 fast. Back in the days on Sky, they seem to want track records to be broken just because it was on Sky Sports. I would prefer a normal or a 10 slow track even than a 50, 60 fast, but fast tracks will suit even Cole's bitch. I mean, she'll bounce off of a fast surface, but yeah, I do think you'll see the better of him over probably a true 4 bends. Like Monmore, that's a speed 4 bends. People forget it's 480, but it is a speed 4 bends. But I just think Carl's bitch, in her current mood, it's going to take a very good one to deny her.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 votes for Geelo Gold Dust in that semi-final. Right, I'm going to put it on you now, Cole. So I didn't warn you that I was going to ask you this question, but you've always got a nice calibre of dog in the kennel. Is there anything we should be looking out for? Have you got anything coming through?
With an unraced bitch that's not had a trial yet for what Shane sent us over, he thinks the world of her. She's come with a bit of a reputation. She's very lightly done, but she's Geelo Blue Star. Hopefully she'll be having a first trial in a few weeks. She's bred out of. I think she's a Droopy Sydney bitch, and yeah, I mean, she'll be going to keep an eye on. Where I don't know where I'm at with, because like I said, we've not trialled her, and we've just started a list of Geelo Zips pups to Droopy Sydney. I don't think there's only 3 at a race now, but in the next 2 weeks you'll see a lot more making the debuts. Nothing really stood out as top draw, but they'll win races. They'll be a litter to follow. They will win races. He's got the right attitude. I love Droopy Sydney as a sire. I think he throws beautiful pups. We have another litter out in the field to Geelo Blissful. I like everything about them, 10-month-old. So yeah, the Geelo Zip litter and Droopy Sydney definitely to keep an eye on. Get to pick best of the litter showing so far will be Geelo Josh. He makes his 500 debuts out there, but they are very lightly done and will improve with racing. Definitely dogs to follow. Same again, bit of sun on the back as well. Summer months, the mature, and there'll be definitely a litter to follow.
It could be a huge week for you next Friday then if Geelo Gold Dust qualifies for the final, because I think you got a horse running in the Albert Bartlett. You hoping he roasts them?
Yeah, we've actually got 2 runners as it stands now, Tony, but obviously it could be down to 1 by next Friday. And yeah, I mean, Big Phil's give us an absolute, we bit Nick bought him 3 weeks before Cheltenham last year, and that was his first horse. They decided to go into horse racing, something he's always wanted to do, and we have 9 now.
So give us a name check on that one, Cole. Name check on that one, and what race is he in?
He's Alain Philippe's in the Albert Bartlett. He's I think his 3rd favourite for the Albert Bartlett. He's had 5 races, won 4, and he's just gone from strength to strength. He's probably not overachieved, but he's reached higher expectations when we first got him. But the team at Fergal's have done a great job with him. Him and Fergal, Paddy, they think the world of him, and he's got a big chance. He's a 8-to-1 shot for a group race at Cheltenham, so it says everything about him. And good to do. We can't be there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Would have been a perfect day out. Cheltenham in the afternoon, Romford on the night. That would have been a perfect day out for us. But it is what it is. We have to accept it, and the fact that we're still racing, and the horses are racing, the dogs are. That's the main thing. And yeah, we look forward to hopefully maybe he'll give us he'll get to Cheltenham in the next few years as well, because it's on his first season this year, and the expectation he'll get better as he gets older. So we have another runner entering the Triumph as well, Castle Gandolfo, but he's not a guaranteed runner yet. The decision will be made around Monday on him.
I did laugh at a comment that you made talking about your horses at Cheltenham. You said you appreciate owners who leave you to your own devices. You leave the horse boys to their business, and you like the owners to leave yourself to do what you do. Yeah,
well, at least I'm lucky that way. I only have Nick, and Nick leaves me to do it. And if I need Nick's input, it's always there. And we've approached the same with the horses. We're novices to horses, so we don't know what we're talking about. So we're led by people. We picked, a few trainers that we can easily get on with and speak to, and we hear from them when we need to, and they do the bit. They make the trick decisions, and it's worked well for us, and I'm sure they appreciate it as well. Not saying that owners don't deserve an input, of course you do, but it works for us in the dogs, so it'll work for us in the horses as well.
Absolutely. So 2 singles and a double then, Carl, yeah? Is that what we're saying?
Definitely, Dave. Yeah, we're anti-post at big prices for both, and we were cheeky enough to have a little bit of a double for the Friday double.
Kick on, absolutely brilliant. Well, thanks for your time, Carl, because I know you're a very, very busy man, and we appreciate you joining us on A Load of Clark and Ball, and good luck, of course, at Romford and Cheltenham. Tony, looking forward to the action coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we've touched on the Golden Sprint, but it is a fantastic night's racing at Romford. They've got competitions over various distances, and it really is. I reckon you get 4 or 5 cards at Romford come along like that every year, and there's a lot to savour on Friday, Dave.
Absolutely, and you'll be able to watch all of that live on Racing Post Ground TV, Sky Channel 437, FreeSat 250. A huge thank you to the guys at SIS who provided us with that replay of Geelo Gold Dust. We're able to enjoy that once again with Carl, and hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to another episode of A Load of Clark and Ball.